Welcome back to the Daily Dose of Dalton podcast. I'm going to be honest with you, this is take 3 that I've done for this because the first time I'm using Courtney's camera. Didn't realize that I wasn't recording from a whole segment, so that kind of sucked. And then, second time, camera died halfway through. Not even halfway. It was it was about halfway, actually. So, third time's a charm. That's what they say in show business and in life. But, actually, I've never heard it said in show business. But, anyways, we're just going to take it and move on. The first order of business, talking on this episode, is, you can see here, Mr. Dwight Schrute. Seems to be back and healthy. Let's see. Thank goodness that worked because I honestly had no idea. I just super glued him and put a rubber band around it and then hoped it stayed. And it did. So I consider that a win. So I'm just glad it didn't break because I probably would have been very upset. And embarrassed. Mostly embarrassed. But, so besides welcoming Dwight back, the other big thing I've noticed in my life this week is that I look very sketchy in stores. I've noticed that. Thanks to my father, shout out Kevin. Dad. I would never call you by your first name. Always taught me, hey, when you're in a store, watch your surroundings, know where all the exits are, constantly looking over your shoulder, keep your eye on everybody, never stay still in one place too long, that type of stuff. Good security-minded ways to go. And so I do that. But you know who else does that in stores? You know who else also looks around over their shoulder a lot, watches for other people, employees, kind of look antsy almost? Criminals, shoplifters. So if you see me in a Walmart or something, or you see me on the news in handcuffs getting accused for shoplifting, just know I didn't do it. Here now. If I had something in my pocket, it's because I thought I could get it all with just my hands and no basket, and I just put something in my pocket. I was going to pay for it, I promise. This is my alibi in case I ever get in trouble. But speaking of crime, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently. For those of you who don't know, more, mom and dad, probably don't know if you know the show, but it's a sitcom, kind of like The Office and New Girl, but it's about police detectives in Brooklyn. And, it's a comedy, but I've been watching it recently. And I think that I could be a mediocre detective. Notice I didn't say good or bad or amazing or terrible. Mediocre. Meet in the middle. Because, let's look at it this way. My ADHD is kind of like my superpower. I can remember a conversation with a McDonald's employee from 11 years ago and be able to say everything verbatim. And I can remember pointless facts that have nothing to do with anything. But yet when I'm looking for something, like my phone, I tear apart the whole house looking for it. I'm like, where is it? And I look, and what do you know, it's in my hand the whole time. Or I'm looking for a pair of shoes or my keys, and I'll literally trip over and walk by them 5 times. I'm like, where are they at? I don't see them. And so that would be the bad part about it. I would probably overlook, really simple out there clues. But I think I'd have a redeeming quality because I'd also be able to pick up, little details here and be able to connect dots everywhere and, pick up on things and problems and patterns and be like, look. So I think that'd be good. The other reason I think I'd be bad is I would definitely go to jail. Not for being a dirty cop or taking bribes, but definitely because I probably would take the law into my own hands if I ever, met or came across like a child predator or a spouse abuser. I'd probably end up killing them right there, but consider that the Lord's work. Who cares what our justice system thinks? But anyways, won't go into that rabbit hole. I think I'd also be a good detective because I really think I could pull off, the outfits. And I think I'd look really cool with those chains with the badge on the end and the, sunglasses, leather jacket, and hoodie combo. I think I could really pull that off. I'm going to have a partner named Javier or something. would be a dynamic duo, but or I could pull off the suspenders and tie look with the back holster. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I'll drop pictures, kind of show what I'm talking about. Basically, I just want to dress like Terry Crews and look as good as he does in the show. But I'll never be able to achieve that physique, no matter how long I work. Well, I could, but I just don't want to have the diet that it takes. So, yeah. But also going on, just trying to get through this before the camera either dies or, I realize I'm not recording again. But just kind of a thought I had this week, just scrolling through the socials. Not everybody needs to know your business. Nobody needs to know everything that's going on with your family. Nobody needs to know what personal things you're going through. If you want to post something, be like, hey, my uncle's sick. Y'all say a prayer. Got you. Send a prayer up for the boy. I will do that. But I don't need to know everything. I don't need to know that, Rebecca from Toronto, is dealing with a, addiction to folk music. That's just a random example. I just don't want to out anybody. But I just don't need to know everything you're going through. Not everybody else needs to know. Not everybody cares or needs to know everything going on in your relationship or everything going on in your kids' lives. Like, I get if you're proud of them, you want to post that. But, some of these people I see, like, they'll out their kids. Be like, my kid got caught smoking pot today behind the school dumpster, and the police embarrassed him and arrested him in front of the whole school. But little did they know, my little Johnny actually suffers from severe schizophrenia, and that's why he smokes the pot. I don't know anybody like that, but still, that's what it feels like. Like, secrets can still exist. And I just don't think anybody knows that anymore. Like, secrets are a good thing that can be kept sometimes. But, it's wild today. I saw a TikTok the other day where this grown woman was talking about how she had a dirty dream, a very vulgar dream about the dad from Bluey, which is a dog, an Australian dog. No, this did not freeze. I was just letting you sit with that. Just SEAL Team 6 could not have gotten that information out of me. They could have waterboarded me, ripped my nails out, beat me to a pulp. I would have never confessed that. And that is wild to me that somebody would actually do that. Willingly on a podcast. For the whole world to see. And that she was talking about some nasty stuff. Like, and I just keep it in the vault. It's not everybody needs to know every thought you have, which I know is ironic. My sister pointed out that here I am, Daily Dose of Dalton, giving out my own thoughts. But it's okay because my opinions matter and nobody else's does. Except for Courtney's. I value Courtney's opinions. But only when they're relevant to me. But because this is about me. Nobody else. Well, I don't want to sound selfish, but you can actually log off of this if you don't want to listen to it. But anyways, on this subject, I'll leave you with what Lil Wayne said.
Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Real G's moving silence like lasagna. Never let them know your next move. Don't share everything. Just, do a yearly post like I do. Which I haven't even posted in over a year. But I don't need everybody to know that me and Courtney are happy. Or that me and Courtney are fighting. Or if me and Courtney are in a rough patch. Or if me and Courtney are in the greatest stage of our marriage or relationship we've had yet. Nobody needs to know. I'm not saying it's bad to push your significant other. I'm getting off a train. Off a train? I'm going off on a tangent. I need to get the train back on the tracks. But anyways, it's okay to keep secrets. Just post on socials what's appropriate or funny. Just don't air out your dirty laundry. Please, for my sake. Moving on. I know this is kind of rapid, but I just want to be able to actually get through one of these videos. So I apologize if it's not as fun as the last one, but I also don't really have any juicy stories to tell. The biggest thing I kind of want to talk about is it's kind of sports, kind of not. But really, it's just the world's values and where they've gone to hell in a handbasket. There's a MLB player. I think he played for the Pirates, maybe Padres. I don't remember for sure. I think it was the Pirates. Tucupita Marcanos. I'm just going to call him TM. TM got a lifetime ban from the MLB for betting on games and gambling. And here the numbers say that he total bets on baseball was 150 grand and total bets on the MLB itself was 87 grand. And he placed a number of 231 bets on MLB games. 25 of them were on his Pirates team, and he won 4.3% of his bets. Now, and they gave him a lifetime ban, for gambling. Now, I would understand if he was like, hey, I'm going to bet on my team to lose and I'm going to throw the game. Yeah, gone. No, not going to happen. But, I mean, what are we doing? Like, it's just gambling. I know that sounds bad, but, I mean, he's just saying, like, hey, I think my team's going to win. If you're confident your team's going to win and you're playing, and you're like, oh, yeah, we're going to win. Bet. Do it. But to suspend him or ban him for the whole rest of his life it's insane to me. Because, I mean, I know I praised Marcell Ozuna on the last podcast, but, I mean, he beat his wife, got charged with a domestic violence conviction or whatever. I don't know if he's actually convicted. But anyways, he got in some big legal trouble. The league only suspended him 20 games. And I don't even know if that's an MLB suspension. It might have just been a Braves. 20 games out of 162. We're going to ban this guy and let him keep playing. He's still playing today. But yet, a guy who puts a bet on his own team isn't allowed to play anymore. And it's like the same thing in the NBA. Another guy's got a lifetime ban for what he did or for betting on games. I don't know exactly all of his details, but he got banned for that. Yeah, there's NBA players who were, domestic violence, drugs, robber, like doing all kinds of stuff, and there's no repercussions for it. Like there was a guy on the Hornets who beat his wife and was like, I want to say beat her with a gun. I don't remember his name, and I really don't want to get sued for defamation, but he didn't even get suspended, I don't think, and he was still playing. Like, what? Why are we putting such a, stranglehold on gambling, but yet with actual problems, nothing's done? The NFL still hasn't spoken out against Rashee Rice, who, crashed his car doing over 100 miles an hour and then fled from the scene. Like, there's videos of him, like, walking away from the car accident and just not doing anything about it. Nothing's been said about that. But yet, they'll ban Calvin Ridley for over a year for gambling on games that he wasn't even playing in. And Deshaun Watson gets charged over 20 counts of sexual assault and only gets suspended 6 games. What are we doing? What values are we teaching people? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think many of y'all would be friends with me if I went and beat Courtney or, did something bad. I would never beat you, Courtney. I love you too much. That's just a little side note. But, I mean, I think a bunch of y'all would still be friends with me if I went out and gambled a little bit. It just, I think it's kind of a reflection of the world we're living in now. But, anyways, I'm going to talk about actual sports now. So, my mic. So, anyways, here's going to be a little break right here for ladies. If you don't want to hear about sports, I do talk about the WNBA at some point. But if you want to leave, here is a little clip of me playing 4 instruments at once. And everybody else, I'll be back after this little clip. And now back to actual sports. Talking about it. Max Fried must have listened to the last podcast because he came back and was like, after he heard me say that he wasn't really a strikeout pitcher, and he went, boom, here you go. Here's 13 Ks in 7 innings. Only gave up 2 earned runs. You know what, Max? Just keep proving me wrong. Do it. I love it. It's helping the team. Made me put my foot in my mouth, and I love it. Which, I mean, there was no disrespect the first time around, but, you know, I'll take it. I love it. I want some more of it. Hashtag Tim McGraw. However, Chris Sale, on the other hand, though, baseball guys were listening to the last podcast, and they thought that what I said about him being prime Sandy Koufax was blasphemous, and so they gave him the worst outing of the season he's had. He had only 4 innings, didn't even get enough to qualify for the win. 9 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 home runs, giving up 1 walk, and only 4 strikeouts. Which I know that's still 1 an inning, but when he's averaging 9 over his last 4 starts, that's not really the best outing. But you know what? He'll bounce back. He just won Pitcher of the Month for the National League. So, you know, 1 battle ain't going to cost you the war. Well, I mean, it might. But in this case, you know, he's still got a whole season ahead of him. So, I mean, I think he'll bounce back fine. But that's just what I think. And then again, maybe a little biased because I am a Braves fan. Another note, Micah Parsons, who is a linebacker slash DN, I guess I could have just said edge position for the Cowboys, said he could go into the MLB and bat 180 to 200. Delusional. You couldn't go out and hit on a high school team. You couldn't even go hit 200 in a, like, you know. You couldn't even, I don't even think he could get a hit. I think if you gave him a whole season of guys throwing to him for real and not, you know, being like, oh, here's like a little, let me just throw him a lob, I still think he wouldn't even hit 100. He might not even get the whole season. I don't even know if he gets 5 hits. I don't even know if he gets 1. But he's just crazy. He's about as crazy as Dawson saying that Babe Ruth could come out and compete and be dominant in today's game. But whatever. I digress. Last issue I'll talk about. Caitlin Clark, and it's basically going up against the whole WNBA. All of these women have talked about for the last however long is we want to be equal. We want just as much attention for the WNBA as they get in the NBA. We want this, and this. They start getting it. Caitlin Clark got them chartered jets. They have private jets now. They're getting more viewership, more TV deals, more TV slots. They're getting more ads, more revenue. And these girls want to sit here and complain about it. They're like, she thinks she just come in, beat it. You got what you wanted. You're getting recognition. Who cares how it happens? I mean, unless it was like perverted ways. But, I mean, you get what I'm saying. Why? I mean, these girls are sitting there and they're doing hard, dirty fouls. There's nothing wrong with playing hard or playing aggressive. But when you're going out of your way, that Trinity Carter girl who went and just hit her and laid her out when she didn't even have the ball, I mean, that's not a basketball play. And then when after the game and interviews, she's like, I'm not answering any Caitlin Clark questions. Like, excuse me? You're going to sit out there, you're going to go play tough bully ball out there on the court, and then you're not going to back it up when it comes time to talk the talk? You walk the walk. Stand on business. Come on. Like, own up to it. Stand 10 toes down. Do whatever, but don't back out and be like, I don't want to talk about her. Nobody knew who you were before that. You know, stop being a little turd ball. I'm sorry, that was rude. That was across the line. Stop being a whiny baby and just be happy you're getting what you're getting. Or Caitlin Clark's going to take away your jet privileges. And Angel Reese, that was you clapping, giving a freaking parade whenever your teammate laid her out. That was tacky. And nobody would know who you were either if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. You know, if you hadn't chased her around, but it is what it is. It's always women support women until one woman does something better than you. And, you know, then you can just be like, oh, I hate her. But I think Caitlin Clark will be fine. She has better stats than both of these fools do. And, you know, she's going to be remembered 10 years from now, or probably 20 years from now. Neither of these other girls will. I had to look up who the other girl was who actually hit her, but that's all I got to say about that. Yeah, so wrapping up this episode around 20 minutes. Hopefully, most of these episodes will be shorter unless I have something that I actually want to talk about more or have a fun story to tell. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, keep it to yourself. But yeah, that's really all I got for y'all. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time.
When you